No, I'm not ready. Shit. Well, this is what happens when Kevin is not here. All of this time, I couldn't figure out what his purpose was on the show.
Now we know why we keep Kevin around.
Now I know why. I can't do an intro to the show, and nothing's changed. I can never do an intro to the show. I
That's
didn't
one of the
even say
downfalls.
welcome to the Ordinary Guys show. Welcome to the OG podcast. There isn't even anybody going to be watching us because I don't even know how to share it.
At
So-
least we're on. At least
Yeah.
we're on. That's what counts.
So, John, my thought is if you talk for a few minutes.
Listen, when I came here to this house, I was just excited that you had your clothes on because you got your delivery today.
I did.
You're very excited. Last week, you told us that when you got your delivery, you're going to walk around in it naked
Yes.
and basically cosplay.
Yes. I'm stalling by saying yes a bunch of times because I'm trying to share this.
It's just me and Frank today, guys. Kevin is called out,
I don't even know that I shared it.
taking a break.
I don't even know that I shared it. Hold on. I'm sharing it one more time.
share it.
Right post. I think this works. I think we're live. This is dead air, which is good
That's
for
okay.
everybody.
Yeah, nobody's going to
Post.
tune out. What
Oh,
the-
that's funny. Your picture
Ah.
was covering the share button, so I couldn't figure out how to
great.
share.
Of course.
So now we're good. We're back. We're shared. I don't know. We got 2 people watching. That's fine. Actually, there's one thing I did want to talk about that we didn't even pre-talk.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you're watching this live, you know there's a pretty big UFC fight tonight. John, you followed it all or no?
No, I haven't been following UFC for a little bit.
All right, so tonight's fight, we got 2. We got what's her name? Nunes is defending the championship again. I think this might be one of her hardest opponents, but I still think she steamrolls her.
Yeah.
If you don't follow, it doesn't matter. We have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, the last I saw her fight was when she beat Ronda pretty decisively.
Yeah, she hasn't lost since.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
That seems to happen in UFC. They get on a run with the women and they don't lose for a while.
yeah, that's actually funny that you bring that up because when it comes to the women, we talked about it earlier. I don't like watching the women fight.
Oh, that's weird.
But when and it's a completely sexist reason that I don't like the women fight. Women are a thing of beauty. Violence is a different kind of beauty, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but you're right. When there's a good woman, they're like they dominate everybody.
Now, Ronda is completely done. She's in wrestling now.
For sure.
She's she had a baby actually, so she's not doing
Not doing
anything
anything.
right now except being mom. But it just seems like they go through these lulls and they lose, like they had their big star and then they lose the momentum on the division. When Brock Lesnar was in on the heavyweight division, he was the big star there. Then he got beat by Alistair Overeem. He got beat by DeSantis. Oh no, not DeSantis.
Yeah,
Everybody's
DeSantis.
getting beat by DeSantis.
Yes.
What's Junior
Oh yeah, Junior Dos Santos.
Dos Santos? Yeah,
Ooh, very close.
very
to
close.
DeSantis.
Now you can see how you messed that up.
I
Yeah.
got you now.
So he lost to him. So and Kane, of course, I think.
Yep.
So ever since he's been out, like the heavyweight division's gone. I mean, we followed Daniel Cormier a little bit.
Yeah, like
but-
Daniel Cormier. Then John Jones, but John Jones is out now. Plus, he became a complete piece of shit.
Yeah.
So tonight's fight at 155 is why am I drawing a blank? Who's the 2 guys fighting?
I don't know. USC. What number is it? I'll look it up. I'll look it up on the thing.
You should look it up. But oh no, so I was talking about Nunes. So Nunes is fighting. I think she's gonna win. We know nothing about nothing, so I wouldn't bet on it.
Ordinary guys.
Yeah.
That's all
But
we are.
no, it's good. So I'm excited. I think I'm gonna watch it after we're done here. Should be fun. But
Oliver versus Poirier.
oh yeah, Dustin Poirier. So personally, I would like to see Dustin Poirier win. It would be really cool. But I don't know. I'm
He's got to
torn.
be the favorite, isn't he?
I don't think so. The current champion is what's the guy's name he's fighting?
Oliver. That's all.
Oliveira.
Oliveira.
Yeah, so he's actually really, really good on the ground, and he's knocked the last couple people out, so he's good. I just like Dustin Poirier. I think he's good. He's the one, in case you guys don't remember, he's the one that broke Conor McGregor's leg in half.
Yeah. He's 38. Poirier is actually he's 28-6.
That's not a bad record.
So that's not a bad record.
What's Oliveira's record?
31-8.
Okay, that's comparable.
So Oliveira is 5'10", 155 pounds. Orthodox, I guess. Is that his religion or is that his fighting style?
It's his fighting style.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, this is a terrible podcast, John.
Well, I don't follow UFC anymore. I used to
Yeah.
be into it a lot back in the day, but it's just, to me, it's gotten to be the same old stuff. I can't get into little guys fighting. Just
So I lean towards UFC because I've gotten out of most of the main sports. That's the reason
yeah,
why.
and Dana White's a badass,
I like Dana White.
Yeah.
I like what he's done throughout the Schmovid virus.
Yeah.
And no, I just think that look, we can get right into it. I'm over basketball. I used to love basketball, especially playoff basketball.
Yeah.
I am just done. I'm over basketball.
I think a lot of people are over basketball. The ratings suck.
Yeah.
The games suck. The ticky-tack fouls. It's hard to watch a game because everything's a foul.
I don't like now how everything has to be political. The whole entire world is political all the time.
Yeah.
I watch sports to watch sports. It's like a checkout. I want it to be what it is, and,
Yes.
and that's it. I'm done. But it goes across all sports. My son's huge into baseball at the moment. I say at the moment. He's been playing baseball for like 5 years now.
Yeah.
So, so that I love
didn't
that.
even last long enough.
I don't even know which one.
Which
went
one
out.
is it?
I don't know.
I think it's
It's
a new
mine.
one.
It's a new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the hell?
Anyway.
Listen, your son is playing baseball. Is he going to play more baseball after he gets there? Like, is he going to graduate to the next league, or is he going to continue to play sports and just switch to a different sport like football or something? Because a lot of people, they start off as minor league baseball players and then they go to like football or tackle football or flag football or something.
So Blake continually asks to play football. I'm just not going to let him. Period. Okay. There's too much research that shows playing football at a young age is just not good for you.
Right.
I have no problem with him being strong and athletic in baseball, or if he got into soccer or something, and then from there decided like maybe in high school or even in college to try out for the team.
Right.
Or you know what I mean? Like, let's just say he gets to school on a baseball scholarship and they ask him to try out for football. That's a different story, right? Their brain's starting to be a little bit more developed. I'm not worried about him losing what he's got. There's just too much to risk, to be honest with you.
Well, the tackling when you're younger, the technique to tackle is just
it's not there.
Going to be there, and it's not going to be teachable yet.
No, these kids all lead with the head. No matter what
Yeah.
you say, they lead with the head. It hurts. No, but Blake has been playing baseball since he was 3. He just tried out for a travel ball team. Not sure if we're going to do it yet. There's a lot.
Ooh, that's a lot on you guys.
Yeah, there's a lot. At this age, it's good because they don't do a lot of tournaments.
Yeah.
It's not like they're like that 14U team or that older team where they could be in high school playing, but they're playing travel ball. Their colleges are looking at them. They're called showcases.
Uh-huh.
I'm not ready for that yet, obviously, because there's no preparation.
Are you the coach still?
I would not be coaching travel ball.
Listen, I came to a game one time, and you were the coach.
Oh, yeah.
And you flipped out on the kids.
Yeah, that was my last game before COVID.
And, like, I swear, I wish I had my camera, because it's like one of those videos that go viral.
Yeah.
Where it's like female Karen goes crazy on kids and fans in the stands.
So that was because literally as I'm trying to get the kids out on the field, one parent brings in a tray of chicken tenders to their kid who was hungry. And I'm like,
everybody's distracted.
Dude, everybody's distracted. Everybody's there late. I always tell people, if the game's at 5:30, you're there at 5. Right? That's it.
Yeah.
You have to be there.
My coach did that with me. With me and the family. Like, he had a meeting at the beginning of the season,
which I did
with the family and everything. It's like, your kid's here. Game starts at 5. Your kid's here at 4:45. He's playing. If your kid's here at 5, he's not playing. Simple as that.
It's just one of those things. And I'm yelling at these kids, not the kids. I'm yelling at the parents. I stopped. I was like, time. I was like, I got people just showing up to the game. The game's already been going on.
Yeah,
You got kids in here eating chicken nuggets. And I'm like, guys, you're here on time or you're not here, in my opinion, right? And your kid's going to suffer for that, not you. But then I always cave and I don't take it out on the kids because it just sucks because they're not the ones whose parents or they're not the ones who did an asshole thing by showing up late.
One of the things that youth sports is good for is structure, like teaching your kids structure and time management and all that. Like, hey, we have to go to practice. We got to be there 15 minutes early. You know, before a game, you want to put some practice in before you play.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. And at this age, so Blake's gotten to the age now, or we'll call it like minors 1. It's where the players start pitching to each other finally. So there's other things, you know, your pitcher needs to warm up. We have routines that they need to go through. They stretch, they jog a little bit, they warm up. I mean, I have this like disdain for the parents that just show up at game time and throw their kid out there. And I'm like, if we didn't have only 9 kids on the team, your kid would be sitting. But now I have to reward your kid by putting him in.
Like, okay, so have you ever had a kid that really like, you should probably take up fucking ballet?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 300%, because there's 3 kids that I can think
of. Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 3 kids I could think of. One of them never, ever just wanted to be there. In fact, he would swing extremely slow.
Oh gosh.
And then his backswing would be super fast. And at the end of the season, he told us because it's faster to strike out and go back to the bench than it is to accidentally get a hit and be stuck out there.
Listen, he had a goal and he stuck to it.
Stuck to his goal.
You know, that is like what do they call that? 4D chess.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh no, he was playing like 8D chess with me. Yeah. He's like, for 3 years, I'm gonna let him think that I suck.
Yeah. When actually I'm really smarter than him.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I just don't want to play.
Yeah. Well, I played a lot of youth sports. I mean, look at me now. Look what happened to me now. But I played a lot of youth sports, and the baseball was the funnest part because it's a team building. Football was okay, but baseball was the best.
So my situation sucked because I think I even mentioned it on the show, my mom didn't want to bring me to practice and games. It was out of my control. I was like, 12 years old maybe. I couldn't do anything about it. And I didn't have the awareness at the time to, like, you know, ask for rides or say something to somebody like, hey, anybody want to come get me?
Right.
I used to be great at Little League Baseball. I loved it. I still love going out. That's why I like coaching. But my work schedule prevents me from being a head coach now. So I always volunteer. Anything coach needs, you know, I'm down for as long as I'm there. And last season, I mean, I ended up having to umpire a couple games.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
Never again.
The parents, they automatically hate you.
Nothing you could do is right. Nothing you could do is right. I intentionally called bad pitches on my own kids to be like, hey,
I'm throwing you guys a bone.
Right.
Here,
like, we're cool.
I'm making up for that one I fucked up on earlier.
Yeah. Or the one I don't know I'm going to fuck up on in the future.
Yeah. My parents, they stopped going to games probably in my senior there, my last year basically of baseball, because I joined with my uncle needed another player. He talked me into playing, and I was on my same team as my cousin, and we were pretty good. I was pretty good. It's just that at that point my parents were done. I was at that age where we were getting into high school, and I wasn't going to go anywhere. I wasn't going to join high school baseball. I couldn't really hit the fastball. I couldn't catch up to it.
Yeah.
And a curveball was just fucking killing me all the time. So,
yeah, I mean, at that age, I think, you know, that's, you know, development. Like, so, you know, our kids are not even pitching curveballs or anything like that, or they shouldn't be in minors. You know, they should just be worrying about
getting over the plate,
working on your command, working on your pace, working on the game, right? We got base runners knowing what's going on. Like, that's huge. Absolutely huge. You know, but all the rest of that stuff comes. But I mean, ultimately, here's my biggest, if I can give a parent any kind of advice right now, please don't listen to parenting advice from me.
Oh shit.
But if I can give a parent any kind of advice, it's, you want your kid to want to be into it, right? And you want to put them to do something they don't want to do.
Right.
As a parent, please push your children to do something that's uncomfortable to them.
Yeah.
Please push them to do something that they're good at, because knowing the skill you don't have to be actively doing it. So you don't have to be however old we are and still playing baseball, right? But to be able to, coach or give back or give structure to your own kids.
I think just for the
huge.
experience is huge, like have that experience of trying it. You never know. This way you can pass that experience on to somebody else. If you have kids one day, you can pass that on. Like if I had a kid, I would want to be a coach.
For sure.
I would try to play, be a coach out there, throw the ball around with him or her all the time. And even if it's a girl, she'd be out there playing a little bit,
Ava played for a little bit. She wanted to play softball, but the problem with Ava was I waited too long to push her. And I want her to want to do it on her own.
Firstborn.
Firstborn, protect her too much, Blake, I just let him go. And like this kid, we were at Sky Zone today.
Put some dirt on it, kid.
Yeah. We were at Sky Zone today, and the kid just randomly just runs into the dodgeball area and just starts playing dodgeball with strangers.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that as a kid.
Yeah.
I was way too nervous or embarrassed to do that. He's got zero freaking fear.
And look at you now, though. You're on a podcast. You talk about buttholes and penises.
Yeah, that's because I'm gay.
Hey, listen, when I came over here, you're in full blown fucking Call of Duty mode here.
Yeah.
You had your belt on, your holster on, and you got all these new toys here. You are basically ready for war.
So
you just need the helmet.
I'm getting one.
Oh,
I found one. I found one.
You can get the helmet and throw one of these things on.
Yeah, they're gonna have the thing, and I want to get the night vision and everything. So the funniest thing was, so we discussed on a previous episode that I Black Friday shopped,
right,
and I bought an armored vest. I did. I have it right here. I'm not sure that I'm going to put it on yet because I'm not wearing the rest of the attire that I wanted to wear with it. But I bought one, and it came in today. So there's this little box at the front door. These things are 10 by 12 inches. It doesn't take up a lot of real estate in a small box. So Janet goes to pick up the box. She goes, Jesus, what's in here? And I'm like, I don't know. And I grab it and I read it. And I said, oh, I got so excited.
Yeah.
Ran right to the office, ripped it open, put it together. And then I start wearing the vest around. And I'm wearing it around. And Blake goes,
it is heavy, dude.
It's heavy.
It is heavy.
It's steel plates. So Blake goes, why are you wearing that? And I said, in case there's a zombie apocalypse or something like that. And he goes, is that really going to happen? And I said, yes. And then you hear Janet in the background. It's not going to happen. The chances of that happening are zero.
That kid will be wondering too. Like I used to tell Scarlett and Elijah that, hey, the Walmart grocery pickup was the zombie drop-off area.
Yeah, I can see that.
That was where they dropped off the zombies.
Yeah.
So we would drive over there at night, and it would be spooky over there, obviously, to a kid.
Yeah, it's creepy area. It's creepy as an adult.
They just dropped off the zombies. Look, there's a truck backing in right now to drop off zombies. I would scare the shit out of them.
Yeah, they're terrified. I'm sure they're terrified.
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we would drive around and just be like, I think I see one over there, and they'd get scared.
So we were talking. I'm literally running around the house like all the time now, in either my tack belt or my vest now. And I've got, 90% of the time I'm wearing like my gym shorts, a t-shirt, a pair of Crocs, and I'm like sneaking up on my shadow, and I'm like knifing them in the back, and I'm working on.
You're all in on this.
It's cosplay, man. I'm training.
Yeah,
I'm training to help Peter Pan catch his shadow one day.
You're training, all right. You are training. Well, you're training so that you won't have what happened to Juicy Smollett. How do you say his name?
His real name?
Yeah, it's Juicy.
Juicy Smollett.
Smollett.
Jussie.
It's
Jussie.
Yeah, but they call him Juicy.
Yeah, but what is that? What would Chappelle call him? Juicy Smollett?
Yeah, Smollett.
Juicy Smollett or Smollett the other way. Either way, his real name is either Jussie. His real name is either Jussie Smollett or Jussie Smollett. And Chappelle calls him Juicy Smollett or Juicy Smollett.
Juicy can rest easy because the suspects have been brought to justice.
I hear that, and unfortunately, I missed the trial. So, John, can you explain who the suspect was in the Juicy Smollett trial?
It was Juicy himself.
So Juicy was the suspect in his own trial.
In his own trial. It was a fucking hoax from the beginning.
So the hate crime against Juicy.
Yes. The hate crime that the president, the vice president, the entire Democrat Party, the media, Black Lives Matter, which, by the way, Black Lives Matter, they're all fucking in. They pushed all their chips to the fucking middle of the table, and they're like, we still believe it.
Oh, my God.
Even though he's been convicted, 5 out of the 6 charges. The 6th charge was reporting to an officer that he had some kind of crime happen to him. It wasn't major.
So what? They threw it out, or it was one of those like
they said not guilty.
It's 50-50.
They said not guilty of that one. So
all right,
but he's got convicted of 5, and Black Lives Matter pushed their chips into the table, and they say we still support him, and I
am so curious as to how that works. I'm genuinely curious. How the hell do you still stand by that?
You're just the fucking bullshit organization.
Chappelle's stand-up alone was spectacular in how he was like people were mad because a lot of black people weren't standing up for a second, and they were like, hey, we are standing up for him by not saying anything because we know that this story is bullshit.
Yes. And it was bullshit. He hired 2 Nigerian brothers. One of them he was going to bathhouses and having sex with.
But was he's I couldn't remember the story. He said that happened, and the other guy said no.
He said it happened, I guess. I don't know which one said it, but it was reported as that coming out as part of the trial. And Don Lemon of CNN was calling him and tipping him off and saying that the Chicago PD did not believe him, did not believe his story at all. So don't tell them anything. Don't trust them. Why is Don Lemon not fired?
Dude, Don Lemon?
Yeah.
I did not know. This is news to me. I did not know he was involved.
Nobody knew this until the trial came out. So why is Don Lemon not getting arrested?
I mean, is there something coming out from this for Don? I mean, is he immune?
They may file additional charges.
Okay.
On top, yeah.
Because it seems like it seems like to me.
I don't know about Don Lemon, but that is a possibility now because it's open now. Because
now he opened it, right?
He's been convicted.
It's crazy to me how it seems like the media always gets a hall pass.
Yeah.
It's like they get the same rights as the president of the United States.
Technically, they're getting a hall pass from the party they support, but they're not getting a hall pass from the American people because nobody watches it. Nobody believes it. 6% of the United States still believe the media. 6%.
That is ridiculous considering I would have said as a high school student, right? As a high school student. Now that means I was naive.
Yeah.
Right? That means I was naive, a little uneducated to the world, but I also feel like in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, I would say in the early 2000s that things were a little bit different. I feel like if it was on the news, it was a thing. It was a story. It was what happened.
Totally different now. It's ever since Obama was president, this they've become divisive. It's become divisive to push the narrative, whatever they want to push. 16-year plan, whatever it is that they want to push. This whole thing that Juicy made up was what? What was the most important thing that those guys needed to represent? They needed to represent white, Trump-supporting, MAGA movement individuals. Yeah. So it was a narrative that they needed to push.
It's almost as if it was written by the media.
Right.
It's like written by a network. Like, this is our new show. It's going to be one night of Justice and Juicy.
Right. And this is what they do. They push these narratives, and then they jump on it from a congressional or Senate point of view, and they try to create new laws, take away your freedoms, because look, we have a national disaster or a national story that we need to do something about. I think the lynching bill or something, the noose bill or something like that came out that was pushed by Cory Booker and Kamala, I believe. And look, the whole story is a hoax. The whole story is false.
The biggest part about this is I need to take 1 second and relist the people that fell for the hoax and the people that are still pushing it. Again,
Yeah.
so who's pushing it? So
Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
The news is still pushing it. I mean,
Okay.
the news now is trying to backtrack,
Right.
and trying to say that, oh well, we didn't know that he was lying. They knew all along.
Yeah.
He was lying.
The problem I have too is there was also statements made by the vice president.
Yeah.
There was also statements made by the current president.
Well, Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary,
Right.
said that, well, there's a lot of things to learn from the verdict, and the president, the vice president, and the former president. Well, the former president, Trump, said it was a hoax, said
Yeah.
he didn't believe it.
Right.
So I don't think there's anything he
So
needs to learn
there's
from
two
it.
things wrong with that, the whole thing. First off, in how I think that the president should be saying that it's a hoax now is the same way I think that the former president should have just kept his mouth shut on his opinion on a trial just because of who he is.
I don't know what Trump's actual statement was
Sure.
on it, but of course
he made a statement.
They throw everything on him. Like,
Yeah.
when I've heard him make statements on Rittenhouse,
Oh,
it was like, it's
yeah.
a very terrible thing that happened. We don't know the story, the whole story of the case. But that's going to come out, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's what I heard him say about Rittenhouse, but the juicy story I had never heard.
I mean, even if he alluded that he didn't believe it, right? It's still, in my opinion, a president should stay the hell out of commenting on something that, right?
Because look how they took Trump's comments about the Charlottesville stuff.
Oh yeah,
when he said there were fine people. So he said there were the Black Lives Matter activists.
He said there were fine people on both sides.
There were fine people on both sides. Well, the media spun it to say that the white supremacists were fine
Correct.
people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is,
and they
which
still
is
push that narrative today.
They still do,
even though it's been debunked over and over again.
So the biggest point I think I was trying to get with this was, if you're the vice president, if you're a massive organization like Black Lives Matter, if you're the president, how do you not have accurate information? How is there not somebody saying, hey, I've looked at the details on this case.
Let's just shut up.
Just shut the hell up, right? Or like, who's the one saying like, look, like there is no benefit in saying this. This to me proves once again that politicians on both sides, career politicians on both sides have spent too much of their career being a politician and less of a career like learning, educating, being actually involved, right? It's just politics. And these guys they're idiots. The vice president is an idiot. She's an absolute moron. She's a cum-guzzling moron.
She is an idiot. But you have term limits for the president. Yep. You have term limits for the vice president. You have term limits for mayors, term limits for governors, sheriffs. None for Congress and Senate.
None.
Why? That's something that needs to be changed, and changed quickly, because those people are career politicians selling out this country. And
yeah, so I think that, who's president for the next 4 years has less of an impact on the spider web that's built inside the Congress.
Yes. So the president, especially right now, is just a puppet and held hostage by Senate and all that. That's why Trump had to move mountains to get things done.
Correct. And I think we can be really open here in saying that the president has always been a puppet for the most part. The president has always been a puppet.
It's been more of that since Bush.
Correct. So there's a lot of times where I said, well, who won the presidency? When Obama won, I said, well, who's got control of the House?
Right.
Who's got control of the Senate?
Because if the Republicans own the House, I mean, it's coming out that it doesn't really matter now, because neither of them
Well-
like any of us. Neither of them care about any of us.
No. Well, Obama showed everybody that even if the House and the Senate are against you, you have the executive order privilege. Right. He set that precedent. And then Trump came in and did the same. Now, I feel like what Trump did was take a little bit more power back.
Yes,
you know,
gave more power back to the people,
but also more power to the presidency and less of I'm not your puppet,
right? Yes,
so to speak. Which
he didn't just follow orders.
Correct. And now I'm okay with I run the show solely. I have a term limit of 4 years, max 8. Right. I'm okay with that because what you don't get is Putin.
Right.
Right. You know, so
Yes.
that's why I'm okay with that. I think that the president should not be a
you know,
puppet.
you bring up Putin, and why do you bring up Putin? Because you've been told that Putin is a bad guy, right?
Correct.
You know,
Everybody's
the
been told
people of Russia love Putin.
I heard mixed, but you can elaborate more.
So why does the media, now that we're talking about media and their lies and all that, why does the media never report good things about Putin, but they report good things about China?
Well, my honest take on that, and this is coming from an idiot's point of view. China's a country, Putin's an individual.
Well,
I think they want to take.
They don't talk good about Russia.
Right. Well, if you take power away from individuals and give it to, the organization, so to speak, right, it benefits you, right? And China is so involved in that organization,
yes,
and globalist, that why Putin's a conservative.
Yes.
Putin's a conservative and one of the last conservative leaders out there.
Right now, they want a war. They're trying to goat Putin into having a war with Ukraine because they're encroaching on the border there. So they want a war. This way, if there's a war, we can get into war too, and we can move on the Great Reset of, hey, the economy is going to shit because of the war, and we need to go to a digital system for the Great Reset and all that. This is the main push, but not to get too deep down the rabbit hole of politics. I don't think Putin is the bad leader they put him up to be. I think they've made Putin the Trump of Russia.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't know enough to give my opinion on Putin. I just know from people that I've heard, I don't like the idea of anybody eliminating political rivals.
Right.
That's the one thing that bothers me about
yes.
Putin. That's the one thing
I
that bothers me.
understand that,
only because in a true democracy or true republic, the people would love you enough to still vote you in, right? So what I've heard from certain Russians was that I asked, I said, do you vote for Putin? Do you vote against Putin? And the answer was, you have to vote for Putin. And I said, I was like, interesting.
So on the voting ballot, does it say, who do you select, Putin or Putin? Check one.
Essentially, it's the way he explained it to me was, and the translation to English, verbiage is good, but meaning is not there. That's one thing I've noticed about foreign languages. Though they know our words, like the meaning, the intent behind them doesn't line up. So the way he explained it to me, he was trying to tell me was, sure, you could vote for the other guy, but somebody's watching you vote. Does that, you know what I mean? It's not.
So they got a gun to your head, basically. Yeah.
But so you could take it as two ways. They got a gun to your head, or your voting records are not like private, or they're not discreet, right? So that was my concern, that they don't have the kind of voting system that we do. But if they did, it'd be rigged.
Have you ever seen the movie The Dictator? With Sacha Baron Cohen?
No, I haven't.
So there's a part in there. He is a dictator, obviously, and like if you don't agree with him, he looks at the security guards and just is like,
get him,
and kill him. Yeah. So he's very anti-Semitic. Doesn't like Jews. Of course, in all his movies, he doesn't like Jewish people, and ends up marrying a Jew at the end, and then looks at the security and just tells him to take care of her, right? But anyways, there's a part in there where he's so much a dictator that he likes the word Aladdin. So he changes the word of yes and no Aladdin.
So they're the same word.
So they're the same word. So this gentleman goes and sees a doctor, and he's like, "Well, you are HIV Aladdin."
Oh my
the
god.
guy's just looking at the doctor like,
what is that?
smiling real bright, and then like, uh-oh. So there's just a funny movie, but dictator. Dictators, I think so.
Oh,
Dictators are
you did.
just
It's got a broken leg.
Oh, it does.
We'll fix it.
Dictators are just like that. That's how dictators are. So
yeah, that's very interesting. I love this. I love satire, and I absolutely love when they make movies about that sort of shit because it's just you know what I mean. It highlights all those little things that.
Look at the interview. The movie. The interview.
That's actually the movie I was thinking of when I said it. Was like that. That was great. I think that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Although I hate what's his name now.
Oh, Seth Rogen. Yeah.
God, I hate him now.
He has just turned liberal. That's what happens to all of them. They turn liberal. Let's see what else we got.
Do you ever put yourself in their shoes and wonder how you would handle that situation?
I've never thought about it like that. No.
The only reason why I say that, or even think about it, is imagine you have the potential. Someone tells you, John, you could be like the next Will Smith, massive star, right?
So like Ghislaine Maxwell or somebody tells me, hey,
very similar. But imagine you're an up-and-coming actor, and I don't mean you're nobody. I mean you've done something, you wrote something, you're getting some notoriety.
Yeah.
And you get, I don't know, who, like the guild, like the Actors Guild comes to you and says, hey, there's a lot of awards in your future.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential. You just got to make sure that you work with the right producers, work with the right writers. So now you're looking into these people. Like, okay, so who are the producers I got to work with? And you think, now I'm not saying that these idiots even think this far,
right?
But I'm saying you get somebody who's like, how do I not piss this person off when I see him? Well, shit, these are like, look at their statements. They're huge anti-Trumpers, or they're huge, pro this or pro that.
So you think they become it because they're forced?
I think the industry forces them to, and I don't think it's outrageous to say that.
The industry pushes the ones that go towards the right out.
Well, think about if okay, I'm not saying that I'm him, right? But Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Right. Chris Pratt.
I'm trying to cancel him.
Let's just say that Chris Pratt and I were both up and coming actors, and he eventually becomes who who he is now, right?
Yeah.
But I had the same thoughts and opinion as Chris Pratt. I just wasn't as good as Chris Pratt. I wasn't as talented, or I wasn't as good looking, or whatever. I'm out.
Yeah.
Whereas my, left-wing counterpart has some weird ass role in a sitcom now. It's not a big one, but he's like the neighbor. He's making a couple bucks. Whereas I'm out.
You're out completely.
Because I was pro gun, pro God, pro life.
Yeah.
And so you have to think that for every Chris Pratt, there's probably hundreds that didn't make it enough to even know that he had that stance.
Right.
So I mean, but look at the ridiculousness that is allowed to just breed in Hollywood. Scientology was bred in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah, basically they're taking two tin cans and giving each other truth tests or something like that. Yeah.
But I mean, John, if I'm telling you, if I got lucky, let's just say I got lucky before social media and I made a shitload of money, and I'm an older producer now, and I'm like, John, listen, you work with me, you're fine.
Yeah.
Right? You forget everybody else. You work with me, you're fine. You have jobs, you have money. I got great roles for you. I'm writing stuff literally just for you. Right? You could do whatever the fuck you want, basically. And then all of a sudden you post you say something publicly that I don't agree with. I'm like, John, listen, buddy.
You need to shut the fuck up.
Hey, we had a lot of shit lined up, you and me. I think you need to stop because I don't believe in that.
And that's how it is. These people probably fear losing it all because that's how they got it all.
Well, now if you put yourself in their shoes in a defensive standpoint to play devil's advocate here, right? To some of them, it might be more than just money, although money for them shows how well they did in that industry.
Right,
Right.
right.
So it's always who's the highest grossing actor. That means who made movies, got the best contract, and sold a shitload of those movies. Right. So
Right.
it's always The Rock's always up there because he's involved in the sales of all of his
Right.
movies. So now if you and I are opposed to
I'm
each
gonna
other,
switch.
what's up?
I'm gonna switch to that.
You think you can? All right.
Yeah, you talk it out.
All right. If you and I were absolutely opposed to each other, I don't even know where I was going on that one. And yeah, so we had different views, and you started getting roles that were elevating your status because I wasn't agreeing with the same people that you're agreeing, not even agreeing with you, agreeing with the same people that agree with you. It puts me more inclined to be on the same page as you, to be competing with you for some of those roles instead of, doing these roles that suck. Does that make sense?
This fucking thing is heavy.
It's a heavy fucking thing.
Look at this shit. This thing is heavy as hell.
Oh, and we lost another light. We got 2 lights down. I think this show might be coming to a screeching halt, John.
Not coming to us.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
What the fuck? Didn't even know how to watch it. Okay. Oh gosh.
Oh my God, John. I was enjoying that
Oh, gosh,
conversation.
we need to move that camera up.
I don't know anything that just happened right now.
The lights went flying.
Too many things just.
The microphone went flying.
All
Oh gosh.
right, so John wanted to switch seats.
We had a chair go down.
The chair broke. John switched
Oh
seats.
god.
At the time, John switching seats, 2 of our lights
The lights-
decided they wanted to go out. They just
Yeah.
stopped working. They don't work anymore. I'm looking at it right
One
now.
goes out, 2 go out, 1 goes down.
Another light falls, completely falls,
Uh,
and then John knocks over his mic, and everything goes to shit.
So I get what you're saying. I get it. And what are you looking at? What's going on?
Okay.
Oh, I get what you're saying. And I guess, for Seth Rogen, I guess you could say that, but I mean, he did step away from his friendship with what the hell is his friend's name?
Franco.
Yeah, James Franco. He did step away from his friendship with Franco because, Franco was into some terrible shit, with sex with women and stuff like that.
Was he actually though? I never followed up on that.
Yeah, he's in court battles about it.
All of age women.
I don't know if they were underage.
Okay, no, I'm just saying because
Yeah.
if
But it was like grooming stuff,
yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. I mean, but if
So-
it was the typical Hollywood bullshit that I think has been going on with a lot of
A lot of that's going on.
the problem with a lot of that is I jumping out on a limb and saying that most of it is always consensual. It's everybody's going for that. Everybody wants that level
they're-
up. There's
They're promised, like you just said, they're promised that, hey, we can make you a star. So, and that's what came out in the case for Ghislaine Maxwell is that, they returned sexual favors for connections, for
an opportunities.
opportunities. And, a lot of people are disappointed because no big names were mentioned there. And I think that is going to be the same thing like the case with Jussie that we were talking about, where now
Juicy.
that
His name's Juicy.
Juicy, now that he
Juicy
is
Smollett.
now that he is convicted, I think that leads to other convictions, and you can go from there and say, hey, these people were in the black book for Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Now we can go on to bringing them to court. Now we can go on
Yeah, for sure.
to bringing charges against them because we have a conviction against Ghislaine.
Yeah, I want to see people come out of this. Is that trial over?
The prosecutors just rested their case.
The prosecutor. So now the defense goes.
Now the defense goes.
The
And,
defense.
like, what's the defense there? How do you defend? Everything that woman said is bullshit. Is that what you go out there and say? Because how can you prove that? When they have all of these details.
You know what I think, honestly, like the conspiracy nut in me, the person who wants there to be something in me, thinks that the defense is the opportunity. I think the defense is where the names come out.
Oh, I mean, the defense, if she's ready to throw them all under the bus,
that was the opportunity. They wouldn't come out in the prosecution because the prosecution is going to keep it away from that. You would. The
prosecution is James Comey, the former FBI director that got fired by Trump. His daughter is the lead prosecutor.
Right. So I think that, yes,
Obama appointed judge who just got promoted by Biden before the trial started.
Yeah. So I think that there's a huge opportunity for her to say, yes, when the sitting president of the United States is coming to your island to sleep with women, you might think that you've got the okay for this to be happening.
Yeah.
And, we didn't know we couldn't do that.
26 times Bill went. 26 times.
And I hear he was going twofers on some of them.
Hey, I don't know. Listen, he went on TV. I did not have sex with that woman.
That's the one of the biggest lines in history.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go back to that line, because when I was younger, I was like defending him. Okay. I was like, well, he just got a Hummer. He didn't have sex with her. And who cares if that's what the president wants to do?
Right.
Big deal.
Go for it.
Yep.
So John, we're
look at Hillary. Would you want to?
No, especially younger Hillary. I mean, older Hillary, she just looks like an old woman. She probably looks like everybody's old woman. But younger Hillary was hideous.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, no thanks. Older Hillary, she's
just old.
She's just old, and she just read her acceptance speech too. Like, it was cringe, super cringe. If she would have won, this is what she would have read.
She read her acceptance speech?
She read it, and she was crying.
Why did she read that?
Because I guess she knows that it's fucking over soon. I don't know.
Oh my, yes. Oh my God, she's trying to get people. You notice that as soon as Ghislaine Maxwell, she's trying to get sympathy with the people. Oh, don't prosecute her. She's just an old grandma now.
Yeah.
Fuck that old grandma. But I think, John, if it's all right with you, I think we should wrap this one up, and maybe
before something else breaks.
Yeah, before something else breaks, and then maybe even do like we'll record a little political segment we drop later this week for everybody, because you have your Digital Soldiers podcast.
I do, yeah. DigitalSoldiers.show.
Yep. Tell everybody, is that how you find it?
Yep. Just go to DigitalSoldiers.show.
Okay. Perfect. And so I don't know if what John and I do is going to end up on there, but we'll definitely post on the Ordinary Guys Show. John's Digital Soldier stuff is also going to be a channel under the Ordinary Guys Show, so you'll see it if you subscribe to us.
Yeah, you'll see a link to this as soon as it posts.
So check that out. It's going to be fun, and we had a good time. Look forward to seeing you all again.
Oh, a fucking blast. We just had a blast.
Yeah, it was a good time. All right, buddy. See ya.